Days Gone is a title that is already out for a while now. So instead of making a standard review, I'll make a review where in the end, I'll let you know why this game is so underestimated. Welcome to Days Gone, a long-term review, a video about a game that made all the wrong things brilliantly right. And I promise you this is gonna make sense in a few minutes.
We lost him.
He can't be far.
Wait, hold on, cut your engine.
There I was in my day off right after finishing Horizon Forbidden West, trying to decide what to play next. So I opened the PlayStation Plus catalog and started trying a few games. I love the Spider-Man games and I'm a huge Marvel fan, so I tried Marvel's Avengers and Guardians of the Galaxy, but in less than 30 minutes in each game, the lack of quality in terms of game mechanics, story and dialogues made those games unplayable for me. So I looked at titles that I heard a few gaming content creators talking about, so I decided to give it a shot. And oh boy, I was surprised with Days Gone. The graphics of Days Gone are good for a game released in 2019. They are good, but when you compare to others like God of War and Horizon Zero Dawn, then yep, it's okay but nothing revolutionary. The story was a huge cliche and the gameplay didn't introduce anything new. How can a game that didn't have best-in-class graphics, a good story and gameplay turns out to be such a marvelous game? And also, what the hell is going on behind the curtains in this game? Let's find out together. I would argue that this game wasn't worried about innovation in any part of it. Instead, they were worried about making every aspect of this game feel right. Let's begin by the story. It will be impossible for me to explain my point without giving you a few spoils, so be warned. But I promise you I'll do my best not to ruin the game for you if you didn't play it yet. The story is set in a post-apocalyptic world where a virus turned a big portion of the world into zombies. Not only humans, but also animals. And here is where my point starts to make sense. We already saw literally thousands of movies and games with the same exact background. Not happy with only the risk of being seen as just another zombies game, they also chose to make this story about a brave protagonist trying to find out whether or not his missing wife is still alive. Cliché after cliché. Mainly if you like well-built stories, you will notice that the story seems to be confusing in the beginning and a little too fast-pacing, almost as if they were only trying to make us feel any kind of empathy for a few characters we know nothing about. But this feeling changes very quickly, because the way they started to present the characters and the connection between them was a piece of art. After a few minutes of story, you start to understand why that rushy start was needed, and the connections with the characters evolve even faster than in games that managed to nail this topic too, such as The Last of Us, for example. I'm not saying the characters are better or worse, I'm just saying that they went from a state of indifference about the characters to caring about them very quickly. And together with a spectacular soundtrack, makes us notice that this game is made different. It wasn't just trying to surf on the hype and popularity of The Last of Us. This game is everything it needed to be to tell the story precisely how it was. This is a game where you notice they weren't worried about the money they were gonna make with it. It's a game made like in the old days, a game made with love and care. It is noticeable how the team behind Days Gone were involved with this project, and more than all, they wanted to make a game that whoever played it had a memorable experience instead of being a reference for innovation, graphics, or only a sales success. Everything has a but on this game, and not the kind of but you were thinking. Everything comes with a price, and this makes this experience much richer. His wife is missing, but may be alive. Or not. We have a badass friend who could make the combats easier, but he's sick. Humans are still alive and there are apparently many people who are immune to the virus, but they are miserable because the majority of people are either dead or infected. Even good news in the game comes with a but, which makes a cliché story turns into something deep and heavy. The world is dangerous and only a few camps are safe from human and zombie enemies. Outside the camp walls, almost everything that moves wants to kill you, which is kinda like The Walking Dead. where you need to worry about the undead but also with the living, and making a big world like this not feel empty is a hard task, a task they nailed too. You will ride around in this big map in your motorcycle, which is very useful when you are constantly being chased by freaks, which is how they call the zombies in this game. And remember how I told you before that everything has a but in this game? This doesn't only apply to the story, it also applies to the gameplay. It's harder than you think. So you have a motorcycle to travel around, but it needs fuel, so you will need to worry about not drying your fuel down before arriving into your desired location, or the next place to fuel up your fuel tank, making even a simple task of going from the point A to point B a deadly challenge. Instead of going from point A to B directly like in most games, you will frequently find yourself searching for a route that has a gas station or a fuel can in the middle of the way. This will also help you to know, understand, and remember the places much better, because remembering where the fuel cans are located can be a time saver, because most of them are not marked in the map, so even the locations are memorable in this game. And remember when I said that this could be deadly too? I was not overstating. Because as the bad people in this world knows that the riders sooner or later are gonna need to stop in the gas stations, they found out that this is a perfect place to set up a trap, where they're gonna try to kill you and mug you. Such nice people. But this feature do not stop there. Even if you want to fast travel to a specific location, you need to have enough gas in your fuel tank to be able to make this travel, which sometimes means that you will have to make an extra stop in a gas station, making you understand that even when you fast travel there will be a but. And this is what makes this game so freaking special. You feel the pressure the characters are going through. You feel the sensation of scarceness, and it doesn't feel fake or artificial. Not only with the fuel, but also in the combats, this happens a lot. Fighting a freak, it's okay, but depending on where you are and how unprepared you can be, even in the late game, small groups of 5 or 6 freaks can be a huge problem. Ammo in this game is something that is not everywhere like in most games, and you will constantly be out of ammo. You can find ammo in trunks of police cars, but once you take that ammo, it's gone forever. You won't come back in the same truck in the next day and find ammo laying around there again. This will give you a real sensation that the world is ending due to the scarcity of things. Access to necessary goods like ammo and fuel, necessary in a world where you are constantly being followed by undead people and need to shoot them in the face not to be eaten, will be hard. Take this example, most games would go through all the complicated development to make this sensation of scarcity, just to then include an NPC that sells ammo and fuel that will make these tasks a lot easier. But not in this game. Here, of course, you have an NPC that sells those things, but the prices are normally very salty. And one thing that makes a lot of sense is the larger is your fuel tank and the more ammo that you can carry with you, the more expensive it's gonna be to fill everything up. Which means that filling things with the shops will also be too expensive, even in the late game. I found myself dozens of times thinking if I really needed to buy the fuel and ammo instead of making an extra stop in the middle of the way to fill the resources in the places I knew I could get those for free. And do you know what else is for free? Subscribing to this channel and activating the notification bell. It's only gonna take you a few seconds, and this makes sure that you are not gonna lose the next videos about the video game industry that I bring you every single week, sometimes even more than one. Thank you, and back to the video. I don't know what's the correct direction. Now let's talk about the hordes. Oh boy, the hordes. First of all, let me start by saying that although the graphics are not very impressive, as I mentioned before, it seems they put all the efforts of the visual teams in diversity, because the animations and appearance of the zombies are not repetitive at all and can be very scary in the hordes. There seems to be hundreds of different zombies of each type, and the locations are also very exclusive and easy to identify. Although the car seems to be where the variety fails, in a world as diverse as this one, I won't say this is even a problem. When I said that they didn't innovate in this game, I wasn't being 100% fair. You may see hordes in movies like World War Z for example, but in games, normally the zombies do not have this kind of realistic group behavior. There are hordes with up to 500 freaking zombies. This is really impressive, mainly when you see it in game. Remember when I said that fighting 5 or 6 zombies at the same time sometimes can be a problem? Well, hordes are always a problem. You can be filled to the teeth with your best weapons, molotovs, grenades, and still fail and die miserably before killing 20 or 30 zombies. The only way to kill entire hordes is to plan and prepare first. If you are away from your bike in the middle of a mission where you had the weapons that is better against human enemies for example, there is nothing you can do. You will just be done, dead, finito, in seconds. And this is also something that contributes this game to be so special. It is not frustratingly difficult as Demon's Souls, but it's also definitely not an easy game. There will be some missions that you are gonna fail and die 6 or 7 times before succeeding. In the end, this is what I have to say about this amazing game. When you think, let's make another zombie game in 2019, there are zombies because of virus, the main character is missing his wife, we are gonna shoot zombies in a post-apocalyptic world. It seems to have everything to fail because we already saw every single one of those things a million times before, and we are definitely tired of it. So this is what I mean when I said that they made all the wrong choices, but they made everything as good as it could be. This is why in the beginning of this video I said this is a game that made all the wrong things, like the history that could be just another one, the gameplay that could be just another one. But the attention to detail and the care and love that this team put in this project made all the ideas that normally would be terrible in the context of a 2019 game brilliantly right. The only 2 things I wish they did different was 1, the optimization, because there was one time in my playthrough that I found some part of the map clipping that I could fall off the map, and I had to restart the game to fix it. And the second one is the lack of NPCs walking around in the map outside of the camps that didn't want to kill us, because outside of the camps there were only 4 kinds of NPCs. The undeads, the animals, the human enemies that are from different factions or criminals who want to kill us at all costs, and also the victims, who were NPCs that were being attacked by human or zombies. And we needed to help them for some rewards. And here was a huge problem too, that this one honestly bugged me a little bit. All of the NPCs that you rescued from zombies or human enemies looked exactly the same. Like they literally didn't bother, they used the same model, just changed the clothes, sometimes they changed the hairstyle, but it's basically the same character. It seems like the same guy was constantly escaping from the camps and getting in trouble over and over and over again. It's very weird, but we can accept this as a fantasy and pretend that they are just a big family of twins, right? I missed some kind of friendly NPCs, fighting common enemies, or simply walking and driving around like in the Far Cry games for example. There was even a time that I saw a group of humans being attacked by a group of zombies, and I decided to help them and kill all the zombies for them. And as soon as I finished all the zombies, they started shooting at me. Those bastards. So yeah, no friendly faces outside of the camps, and this would add a lot to the game to make it more realistic sometimes in terms of the vibe and the environment of the world of this game. Overall, this game was extremely memorable, one of those that after 50 hours of gameplay, right after seeing the credits, I wish the game was a little longer. So much that right after seeing the credits, my first action was to search the release date for Days Gone 2, which led me to a frustrating sensation, to find out that there's no public information about the game yet. There's even a petition to make Days Gone 2 happen, and if you want to contribute to this, it's gonna be in the first link in the description. Just sign up, and maybe somewhere in the future we are gonna see Days Gone 2, which would be very welcome. The fact is, there is a polemic involving Sony, Band Studios, which is the developer of this game, and the sales of this game too. The director Jeff Ross claimed that 9 million copies of Days Gone were sold, and the game didn't receive the credit for this milestone, as did Ghost of Tsushima, and this supposedly showed some lack of interest about this game by Sony. But some resources say that the reference for this number of sales was not accurate, because this information was assumed based in the numbers of a trophy info tracker website, which is no longer even available. They say that the 9 million is not accurate because it counts with the people who played the game and unlocked trophies on it. But there are some people with multiple accounts in the same console living in the same home. So in this case, more than one copy would count, as well as in the rentals, borrowed, and the used games that would add to this count artificially. And now it's my turn to add a but here. Even if this game sold half as Jeff Ross claimed, the 9 million number, it would still be a freaking good number. 4.5 million sales according to the Wikipedia list of best-selling games in the PS4 would still be more sales than games like Detroit Become Human, Killzone Shadowfall and Bloodborne, for example. So yeah, I believe we are not likely to see the day Days Gone will be a reality. Unfortunately, sadly, because I would love to play it. Because seeing a game like this that had everything to be a miss and still it was an excellent hit is a real shame. Finally, should you play Days Gone? Absolutely, it's an extremely fun game. And you can ask absolutely anyone that knows me in real life, I hate horror games. So this is not a horror game, it's much more of an action game, so don't worry about the jump scares or something like this. It happens here and there, but they are very rare. This game was clearly made with lots of care by the developing team. And this team, honestly, they have everything it takes to make an excellent game. They focus in the actual game, the challenge, and the way they link the parts of the game from the gameplay to the story and the internal systems. Don't worry if the Days Gone 2 never see the light of day, because unlike the Netflix shows, the story was concluded. And although there would be space for a sequel because they left a cliffhanger in the end, we wouldn't need a Days Gone 2 to understand everything that happened in Days Gone 1. Thank you so much for watching this video. This was a late review on Days Gone. I'm Lucas Highland. Don't forget to leave this video a thumbs up, it helps me a lot, and also to subscribe to the channel. I bring new videos about the video game industry every single week. If you have nothing better to do, watch these other videos that YouTube is suggesting you. And if you have something better to do, go do it and come back and do a marathon watching all of my videos on my channel. I swear you're not gonna regret it. Thank you again for your attention and see you in the next video.